Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Stuck, and welcome to more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. This is not what I planned to do today, ladies and gentlemen. I was planning to stay on the Bristol-Exeter route and introduce either the 142 or the 153 or do more of the Voyager Advanced. Unfortunately, I ran into obstacles with all three. Basically, the 153, I don't want to introduce at night. I want you to be able to see the train. The 142, I thought I installed the needed DLC, or the needed extra stock pack that goes with the train. I, for some reason, hadn't installed it. I have a memory that I did, but I don't know why it's not installed now when I go to load the scenario. So that's not an option right now. I'm going to check that later. And then I just tried running the first of the Voyager scenarios, and I couldn't get to Weston-super-Mare because something in the scenario is broke. In fact, an HST that's supposed to pass you also is broken. So, yeah, that was not a good situation for me. I'm now done trying 3 scenario attempts. I still have nothing recorded. I want to do something that works. So we're going to play North London and Goblin lines this weekend, which was, again, not my plan. Now, keep in mind that we did already do these scenarios for North London line, the first 3 of them, coming from Clapham, Quattro Service, and Late for Work. As you may remember, the next 2 are connected, part 1 and 2. On the North London lines, so they have to be done back-to-back, 25 and 40-minute scenario. We have a 60-minute separate for the early morning run and Camden Showers, and of course the 59 scenarios below that as well. Then up here we have another part 1 and 2 to start off the route. Then we have part 1 and 2 next in the route, and then we have 3 individual separate scenarios we can do whenever we want to. So we're going to be doing part 1 and 2 of the North London Goblin lines that gives us the Class 172 Turbo Star, not previously included with the route, or if it was, not used in scenarios. Now, you may have noticed there is a single 378 Capital Star under business as usual. That service goes all the way back to Clapham Junction. We've been taking the West London line from Clapham Junction. So we're going to be doing that between Clapham Junction and Willesden Junction, which is already part of our route. So just a small service in that one. We're not going to do that today, of course, but we are going to come to that at some point. And I will show you that little section of line between those 2 routes. Maybe one day we'll do a full service from Clapham Junction all the way to Stratford. It might be an express service of some form. So someday we might do that. But I have to find a scenario that does something like that rather than just stop at every station again. That gets a little boring. In any case, we are going to be cruising the Goblin. Let's go ahead and start part number 1 of Cruising the Goblin right now in the 172 Turbo Star. Good afternoon, driver. In this scenario, you will be in charge of a Class 172 Turbo Star on a full-length westbound run between Barking and Gospel Oak. This will be a straightforward run today. Wonder why we have commas, a separate sentence. When you're ready, please let passengers board before departing. So let's go ahead and get the train boarding, just like that. We're going to bring everything up. We're going to get it out of emergency. We're going to keep a level 1 brake on. Put it into forward. And we are using a Turbo Star. This is your Turbo Star. There you go. View from the other side. There it is. We'll see a lot of pictures of it as we go along. This is Barking. Now, if you remember back in this direction, nowadays you will find a connection to Barking Riverside. It is not part of this route because that bridge has not been constructed yet. But hitting this direction, you would eventually see Barking Riverside going off to the right nowadays. So we don't have that on this route for obvious reasons. It comes after this route. This route predates it. Don't expect to see it if we ever come in this direction. We're not going to be giving directions to stop at Barking Riverside. Leaving Barking, our first stop today is Woodgrange Park. Quick look at the map as we get going. I'm just going to show you how big the map is. That's a big map. And Clapham Junction is down here, as is London Victoria, right in this area right here. So this is a big map we're dealing with. And we're going to get services all over the place. Any services on the North London line should work on the Goblin Lines map. So we are able to go ahead and put any scenario from both routes on this map. $84 points for each stop on this journey today. That tells me that we have maybe about 12 or 13 stops. We'll look at the full itinerary later, but we're going to cover part of the itinerary right now. I think it's 13 stops by my math. I think because 10 is... No, it might be 11 stops. I'll figure it out. 840 for 10 stops. That means we have... I shouldn't lose that much speed. That means we would have 400 and 10 for the first 5 stops. So I think we actually are looking at about 13 stops. We'll see as we get going. So the first stops we're looking at today on this itinerary are Woodgrange Park, which we already noted, at 12:39. This is going to be tight because the station's not even on our map yet, on our HUD. Wow, that's a 1 in 90 downhill that just suddenly jumps on you. You have to be ready for that 1 in 90 downhill. That tests you immediately. Okay, the next stop after that is going to be Wanstead Park, as you can see, and there's the first station, Woodgrange, right there. And I can go 45 now, so I'm going to speed up. So yeah, there's Wanstead Park. There's Leytonstone High Road platform, and then Leyton Midland Road platform 1. That's enough for now, shall we say? Let's get to our first stop. We're being given a signal. That would have to be either a speed change or a yellow signal. It looks like a speed change for a potential 15 that may not apply to us. We may not have to worry about it. Signal ahead is indeed green. I might be slowing down a little too quickly here. Yeah, if I say that and I put more brakes on, that's smart of me. Let's get into the station and then we'll worry about the brakes. So this is the disused platform. I actually hit the brakes again a little early because that's the disused platform. But now we're going to start hitting the brakes a little bit. Not going into emergency. We don't want that. And I should be stopped before this green signal. There it is. Arrival at Woodgrange Park, platform number 1 for our first stop today. Leaving Woodgrange Park, our next stop is Wanstead Park. Again, today stopping at platform 1. I think we're going to be at 252 after this next stop, so that means that there are 12 tasks on our agenda if the math is correct. 1 point less and a perfect score can't be done. We're entering a 45 mile per hour stretch here, so we're going to go ahead and do full power. But we're going to stop at 40 because there is a 40 up ahead. We are on an uphill climb that is challenging us right now. We only have 1 minute to make our stop. We can't even get up to full speed. But half a mile is able to be covered in the time we have at this speed, so we just have to make sure we have time to come to a stop. So we do want to get up as close as we can to 40. We will not be going to 45 in this stretch. In fact, I should be hitting the brakes now. Doing a level 2 brake, that should do the job. For now. On to a level 3 brake for a moment. I think I already have a feel for this. And a little bit of lag there, unfortunately. But I think I got a feel for this already. So this is actually okay. We might be doing okay today, guys. Arrival at Wanstead Park, platform number 1. Leaving Wanstead Park, our next stop is Leytonstone High Road. We have about 2.5 minutes to make our stop at that station. Going to full power. So while we're in this stretch, I just want to make a note of something I saw announced today. Of course, I record my videos in advance, and it's a good thing because I was having trouble with those other scenarios, so good thing I record in advance. And I noticed something announced today, so this tells you I'm recording this on Thursday if you paid attention. I noticed something announced today that there's a new route coming for Scotland from Rivet Games. There's a new train that they're introducing with a new setup that has not been done on any trains before, at least not one that they've done, and I'm not sure if the Chris train's covered or not. But apparently they have the Class 385 coming to the Glasgow Queen Street to Dunblane and Alloa route. This is a train that runs today on the Edinburgh-Glasgow route, not the one that we have on Steam. That doesn't have electric, so it won't work on that route, but I think it won't work on that route because we have 170. Maybe it will, I don't know. But in any case, we don't have 385 yet, and as soon as I saw it in Train Sim World on the Edinburgh-Glasgow route there, I immediately said it's going to show up in Train Sim Classic one day. I didn't want to say anything, but I had a feeling it was going to show up one day. So, fortunately, it did, and it is going to be showing up. The question is how the new function will work. Basically, the train will tell you if you are running late on your timetable in this scenario. There is some good potential for that to be used on other routes where the 385 runs. The question is, will the signs, or will let me try that again, will the stations be able to be set up properly to alert the train like that? I don't know if they will be, but there is some good potential for things to be rebuilt, enhancements made to a route to allow the 385 to work with it like that. And I am very curious to see how this 385 will work in the future. That should not be an emergency brake. I don't know why I had an emergency brake on, but it was, so I'm going to go forward a little bit now. Thankfully, I have a little bit of leeway here, so I'm not worried about it, but I do want to bring the train back to a stop now. Yeah, the brakes are a little weird to operate on this one. And something I noticed as well, when you open the doors, you automatically move to emergency brake setting. Notice that it's already an emergency. I did not do that, but I can change it out just fine. Arrival at Leytonstone High Road. Leaving Leytonstone High Road, our next stop is Leyton Midland Road. Going to go to full power again as we bring up the itinerary once again. We're going to look at the next few stops. We have Walthamstow Queens Road, Blackhorse Road, South Tottenham, and then Harringay Green Lanes coming up as our next 4 stops. We'll look at the rest later. You may have seen some mileages on the screen in front as I was bringing that up. So I can already see that this 172 is going to be a little more challenging to drive than 378. So I'm going to have to be, even though I can get the train going to speed properly and get the brakes on, I seem to have the timings down. I have to be careful not to put it into emergency by accident. I seem to have done it once already. So we're around half a minute to make this stop. I want to put a level 2 brake on to get down to 30 before the platform, possibly 25. There's some overgrown platforms, so I'm going to put the brakes to a more minimal application for a moment. And here we go. We're going to go to brake level 2, add to a full service, level 3. We are in the platform where we need to be. Station stop is right there anyway. Perfect. Arrival at Leyton Midland, platform 1. Leyton Midland Road, platform 1. Leaving Leyton Midland Road, our next stop is Walthamstow, Queens Road. I presume that's platform number 1 like all the other ones we've been stopping at. Notice I'm not going to full throttle right away. I'm trying to be realistic with the throttle up so we don't apply too much power to the train when it's not moving. You also notice that there is a red plunger over there. That is actually an emergency brake. So you have to be careful not to tap that by accident if you move your mouse and it's nearby. So we have a minute and a half to make our stop at Walthamstow. It is 3/4 of a mile away. And again, I do have, this is a very detailed route, being a large route, so I am having a little bit of difficulty with lag in this route. That will happen, unfortunately. I've noticed it a few times already. I'm not calling it out, but I have noticed it a few times. So, something I'm going to have to deal with on this route, unfortunately, until I get either a better processor in this computer or a better computer, one or the other. I will play a lot more Train Sim World once I have a better computer as well. We're on a downhill, so I'm going to put a level 2 brake on a little early here to slow down. And that's good enough. I'm going to go back to a level 1 brake for now. Back to a level 2. In fact, I might have waited too long for that. Overgrown platform. Let's put the full level 3 service on right now. There we go. Perfect. Arrival at Walthamstow, Queens Road, platform 1. Leaving Walthamstow, Queens Road. Our next stop is Blackhorse Road. The line speed limit appears to be still 45 miles per hour. So we don't get to enjoy any of the luxurious 60 that we see on the main line, or if anything faster that we might see in some places. It is 45 all the way here. So that tells me that there's probably not many express services here, and there might be occasional freight services. They get the low speeds as well, so it helps them not impede too much. They might actually be able to go ahead of some passenger services in those cases, because if they get full access to the line, they get out of the way for the stops. I'm not sure there's a lot of freight that goes here anyway. It might be a nighttime thing. So I see a 20-mile-per-hour section up ahead. I'll keep that in mind, but that's after the station. So I'm not worried about it for right now. I want to see from 45 what a full brake does. We're going to try it now and see what happens. Okay, that was a little quicker on the brake than I was hoping for. So you can stop a train in probably about 0.2 of a mile there is what I'm taking that to mean. There's our warning for the 20. That won't be for the signal, even if it was yellow. Or I should say even if it is yellow, because I can't see it yet. Coming in a little too slowly here, so I'm just inching along right now, coming to a stop. Not ideal. But I'll just let it crawl to a stop, and I'll open the doors when it does stop. It's going to go to emergency anyway, so there we go. Arrival at Blackhorse Road, platform 1. Leaving Blackhorse Road. Our next stop is South Tottenham. You can see we have passed the halfway point in the scenario. We had 503 coming into Blackhorse Road, which means that 1,008 points are available because I had that rogue emergency brake penalty that apparently I slipped into emergency by accident. Now I'm going to have to take a little bit of speed going into the 20 here, so I'm going to have to make sure I bring it down in time. Looks like it's a huge distance of space before we actually have to be under that speed limit. So I'm going to take a little extra and then cut it down before I get to it. 30 is sufficient. 31 is sufficient. There we go. And I just dropped down to the 20 mark, so we're going to work with that. I have to put a little power on because we're on an uphill, strong uphill. 1 in 73. Hey, backhoe. I almost missed the backhoe. Let's go back and look at it. Right there. Whole group of backhoes here. Only one operating. But we got to look at the backhoe when you see him. So we're going to have a 40 speed limit coming up ahead. I'm staying in 20 for right now. Our arrival time is in 2 minutes, so this is feeling tight again. Oh, by the way, service. So you see the services are actually given their code numbers, 2J17 for this one. We can now go up to 45, so full power to get up to there as much as we can. We have to be down under 30 by the time we arrive at South Tottenham. If we're going 40 by that point, we're going too fast. By the 40 sign, that is. It was looking tight since the station was not on the HUD when we first got there, but it actually is looking like it's very easily doable after all. So doable that I'm going to just keep the speed at 40 right now. I'm not going to try and push it. In fact, I'm going to start hitting the brakes. So I've come down to 30 in time since I have to get ready to stop anyway. Level 3 brake is on. And I'm going to take that back off to coast in the rest of the way if I can, because I wasn't quite ready to stop yet. But we are on time. We're going to have no issue with the stop whatsoever. That'll do. So arrival at South Tottenham, platform number 1. Leaving South Tottenham, our next stop is Harringay Green Lanes. Our speed limit is 30 miles per hour. We are expected to arrive in 3 minutes. Quick review of the rest of our itinerary now, since we're at the point where we have 3 stations left. We're going to continue onwards to Crouch Hill. Not the same thing as Crouch Valley, that's somewhere else. Off the Great Eastern Main Line, in fact. Upper Holloway is our next stop after Crouch Hill. And then we arrive at Gospel Oak and we get ready for our reunion with the original North London line for part number 2 of this scenario, which will be what I play tomorrow. And I don't know about you, but I'm expecting loading issues at Gospel Hill. Don't ask me why. Or Gospel Oak, rather. We have 45 seconds to make our stop at Harringay Green Lanes. Of course, when you're stuck at 30 miles per hour, it feels like it takes forever. But we have no excuse for failing the stop, so... That'll do. That'll do nicely. Arrival at Harringay Green Lanes. Opening the doors right on the button. Leaving Harringay Green Lanes. Our next stop is Crouch Hill. .30 miles per hour remains the speed limit. peek at the map to show you where we are on the map right now. We're right there, and as I said before, we're on the northern part of the route here. We're about to pass over another line here. I'm not 100% sure what that line is. I want to say that's part of the Midland main line, but I'm not 100% sure. Actually, we're going to go under that route, whatever it is. Like there's a siding on the other side of the track, or maybe it's the line that joined us from that railway connection we saw there. That's possible as well. Could be where a freight train accesses part of the line. Not sure. We're due in 40 seconds. Just putting a small brake application on it for now, but I'm going to go ahead and use a level 2 for a moment. We are in a overgrown part of the platform. We don't want to stop any part of the train there. We are good to make our stop here. In fact, I'm going to let the seconds go over by a couple. We should still be on time. Arrival at Crouch Hill, platform number 1. Leaving Crouch Hill, our penultimate stop is Upper Holloway, platform number 1. Our penultimate stop for this part of the journey, it is split again into 2 parts. Our journey is far from complete. We are approaching a 55-mile-per-hour section of the line as we approach Gospel Oak, to prepare us for going at those speed limits again as we rejoin the line, so we don't hold things up. But I think there are junctions where we have to go on at 20 anyway, so it doesn't matter. And of course, I'm not going to be able to go up to 55 yet, because that is literally about 1500ths of a mile away from the station entrance, so I can't even go up to any new speed limit at that point anyway. I have to stay at 30 for a bit. Start braking very shortly thereafter. Warning for a 15 in a siding or something over there. I think I see a train coming up there. There's your confirmation, 2J15. I didn't put my level 3 brake on. Let's just let this come to a stop now, and I will deal with it. There we go. Arrival at Upper Holloway, platform number 1. Coming up are Holloway. Our final stop for the first part of the service is Gospel Oak, where we'll rejoin the North London line. Getting a warning array. Listen behind us at the train that just came in. He's on his way out too. He's leaving too. So there you go. Just a quick stop for both of us here. So we got a warning for something. Probably for that 15. I don't know why. It's a little close. We should be able to go up to 55, but I'm watching my speed just in case, because I don't know. Oh wait, the service ends at Gospel Oak. Okay, we're not going to be going onwards from Gospel Oak. Part 2, I think, goes back in the other direction, back to Barking. That must be what's going on. So the service actually ends into a terminal platform. We do indeed have the 20 junction down to a 15 at one point. We do indeed have a green signal, so there's nothing to be warned about at all as far as I know. We're now being warned about the 20, so maybe it was the 40 we were being warned about. That might be it. We weren't even at that speed. We never had a chance. We're on an uphill, so I'm going to let the uphill slow the train down, I've decided. We are going to have to take a little bit more off at some point, though. Never mind, we're not going to have to take any off. It's coming off very nicely. I'm going to put a level 1 throttle on to try to hold. Maybe a level 2. Thank you. Level 2 gain speed, so that's not needed. Now we're going to use it a little bit intermittently. We have our yellow signal up ahead. It is a single yellow signal, and experienced drivers would know that to mean that we are going into the platform we're going into. That is a terminal platform we're being directed into. The yellow signal will indicate that. Because obviously at the end of the platform, you can't go any further. It's a red signal, basically. That's shunt us for the other track. We're not worried about that. So we have the 15 now applied. We're getting warned about something up ahead. I have no clue what we're being warned about. So this is our terminal platform. That's a weird end of the track there. That's very strange. Why have that junction? Don't do this. Okay, apparently I was going too fast for the buffer. I had lots of time left. I don't know why I had to be emergency brake there, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward a little bit because I want to get the whole train in the platform. So forward, please, and quickly. I had time for that stop. And that is what I wanted to do before. Thank you, game. Arrival at Gospel Oak Platform 3. That should still be a perfect score. But let's go ahead and look at our train as we finish. So there's our view looking up the North London line, which we've already traveled on a few times. You can see the lines going towards Barking connecting on the left of our train. We are in the terminal platform in the middle. I was not, I didn't pay attention on the previous narrows to that terminal platform. I just saw a platform ended there and thought nothing of it. So it looks like this is the stopping location for services that stop at Gospel Oak. There's no continuation. There's no platform on the other tracks. So if you're stopping at Gospel Oak, that's the end. You're not stopping here if you're going onwards. Anyway, well done. Halfway there. Time for part 2, and probably in the other direction. Let's look at how we did on this first part before we do that. So the North London Goblin Line's cruising westbound achievement has been gained. Of course, cruising westbound, it matches cruising the Goblin in terms of the name of the scenario, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get cruising eastbound going the other way now. We had to get 850 points. We still got 1,000 because we had a little bit of buffer, thankfully, having so many stops. we had that little bit of a buffer on the points. So we only had to gain 82 points on the last stop because we lost 6 due to the emergency brake settings. The first one was a rogue one. The second one, apparently I was judged as coming in too fast, even though a level 3 brake would have given me plenty of time to stop and forced me to fiddle around and get myself where I wanted to be. But we got all stops on time. We'll take the penalty because we get the same result anyway. Not a big deal. And a couple other players on my list have played that, apparently. 1 for 995. Still a good score. Obviously, it can be a few seconds late on those first couple stops. Those are really tight, those first couple stops. So if you have a problem with those stops, then yeah, you're going to be behind the entire scenario. So not surprising to see a 995 and 984 on there. But 1,000 is possible. We've shown that today, and that was done in one run. I did not load a save game in the middle of the run. That was one run. So I'll see you next time for part number 2 of this scenario. Just going to scroll up to finish that. So yeah, I'll see you next time for part number 2 of that scenario. And in the meantime, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. I'll see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.